Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday. I am Rose, and this is Tanner with me here. What's up, Tanner?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing pretty well, rolling into finals week, so I'm starting to get a little antsy about it all, but I think it's going to turn out pretty well.
Yeah, I am too. And you're graduating as well, right?
Yep, last year.
Oh, man. So it's that final stretch for the both of us.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page together on this. Yeah. So today, our topic of the day is going to be happy chemicals, aka some neurotransmitters that, bounce around in your brain and in your body that make us feel good for different sorts of reasons. So we're not going to get into like the scientific part of that because like no one needs to hear all of that. We're just talking about how to hack your brain so that you can feel better.
Mhm.
Um, and there's like a lot of really cool tips and tricks and stuff that we have. So yeah, just to like give us the basic knowledge of like what a neurotransmitter is. They're basically just chemical messengers called neurotransmitters, and they help regulate bodily functions. They have all sorts of different roles like sleep, memory, metabolism, emotional well-being, just
Mhm.
things like that. And then I'm going to pass it over to Tanner now, and Tanner is going to just give a brief explanation of the two neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin.
Mhm. Yeah, so there's actually four neurotransmitters that we're going to be talking about today. I'm just going to be, again, roughly going over dopamine and serotonin. So, dopamine and serotonin are probably the most well known amongst the neurotransmitters or the happy chemicals. And dopamine is the reward chemical. So, you get dopamine from completing tasks, meditating, just in general, celebrating like the little wins that you have in your day to day activities, and then also through self-care activities as well. And then for serotonin, that's more of the mood stabilizer. And you can get more serotonin just by going on walks in nature, getting sun exposure, doing any type of like exercise. Cold showers are a big one as well, that are kind of like a life hack to get more serotonin.
Hmm.
But the difference between dopamine and serotonin is probably less known. So without getting too scientific about like their functions, they both regulate mood and emotion. And dopamine plays more of a role in the reward system of the brain, so dealing more with desire, motivation, and like cravings. And then most of your serotonin, about 90%, is actually in your gut. And it helps with digestion, which I didn't know about until very recently. And
So
then that other small 10%, that's in your brain, and that's what regulates your mood and emotion. So I thought that was just like, that was kind of crazy.
yeah, right. It's so weird to me to like think about that like serotonin's in your what? Like I always think of neurotransmitters as only being in the brain and like because serotonin plays such a big part on like, your emotions and stuff, you would think that it's all in your brain, but like it
Yeah.
almost makes sense because like when you're not feeling good mentally, like I don't know about you, but oftentimes my stomach is like, you know, feeling like upset. So it almost makes sense. But that's really interesting. Yeah. So the next two chemicals that I will give like a brief explanation are oxytocin and endorphins. So oxytocin is kind of like the love hormone. It's the hormone you feel when you're doing like lovey-dovey activities, like getting cuddles or hugs, or like when you play with your pet, or like when you're having a really good conversation with a friend and you guys are just like actively listening to each other. Cooking and like eating with each other is another way to get oxytocin. Playing with babies. Our supervisor Nathaniel just had a little baby girl and she is so cute. I wish I could meet her, but like COVID pandemic and whatnot. But he's getting lots of loving with his baby.
Yeah.
Um, Compliments. I would have never thought that this would be something that would affect like your oxytocin level is like not receiving compliments, but giving compliments. Hey,
Yeah.
Tanner, I like your hat.
Thank you.
That was selfishly motivated, although I do like your hat. And oh, and then my favorite for oxytocin is a warm bath or blanket because you don't need anybody else for that, especially during a pandemic. For anyone else who's living alone, that's
Yeah.
been my go-to. And then lastly, we have our endorphins, which is the painkiller hormone. And surprisingly enough, the best way to get it is just by laughing. Like they suggest watching stand-up comedy or like a good comedic show or movie or something like that. Laugh exercise, like hang out with your friends and do that thing where you try to like laugh without smiling. And then by the end of it, everyone's just like actually dying of laughter. So funny. Eating dark chocolate as well. There's like some other chemicals or stuff that's in dark chocolate that ups your endorphins and is good for you. I'm like, any excuse to eat chocolate, I'll take. What else? Exercising. Epsom salt baths, which is what Tanner suggested that I do. I've never taken an Epsom salt bath. Actually, I have. Now I have. The last time we talked about this, I hadn't.
How was it?
It was nice. It was so, so nice. I almost fell asleep. I felt like a baby after that. It was great. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I've been doing to up my my endorphins. Thoroughly enjoy, absolutely recommend. How about you, Tanner? Anything you've been doing to up your happy chemicals lately?
Yes, and I was going to mention the Epsom salt bath because I will live and die by the Epsom salt bath. In like high school and stuff, I used to play sports and I was always so sore and just like not in the mood. And after those Epsom salt baths, not only do you just sleep like a baby, like you just like knock out immediately afterwards. You're also like not sore. You feel great the next day. So nice. I love Epsom salt baths. Um, for serotonin, I would say my main go-to is just going outside and getting a little bit of sun. I know with online learning, I have been getting unreasonably pale just because I'm sitting inside all day getting no sun. And I can feel it like over the couple days, like I'll feel it taking a toll on me when I don't see the sun for 3, 4 days. And I just like start dropping and getting in worse and worse moods. So I just try to make it out there for 15 minutes a day at least. And I found that that helps just tremendously. Endorphins, other than Epsom salt baths, which again, I will die by Epsom salt baths, probably just going to work out in the gym. I know with the pandemic and stuff, some people aren't really like comfortable with going to the gym or it's hard to work out in a mask, but even just like doing push-ups or burpees or just jump roping, whatever it is that you need to do to just get moving, that can help a lot as well, especially sitting for 7.5, 8 hours a day. It's rough on your body.
Yeah, Zoom school is difficult.
It's taken a toll on all of us at this point. Happy that next semester they get to go back. Kind of like you were saying for giving compliments, I didn't really know about that one until it was told to me. But for my job, I work at a gym and I literally am front desk. I just sit there and talk to people all day. And one of my jobs is to compliment people, like be friendly, compliment them, say have a great day, do all that. And at first I was a little like timid to like just like be that outgoing and like do that stuff, but it really does help your mood, like especially when it's received well and then like a conversation kind of strikes afterwards, like you feel good like leaving that interaction knowing that like you made them feel good. There was like a positive interaction there. So that's probably that. And dopamine, not a hard choice. It's going to be eating. It has to be any opportunity I have to eat. I'm going to. I was eating right before this, and immediately when we get off, I'm going with my brother to go get lunch. So like,
What are you guys getting?
we're gonna go to Firehouse. It's like a grill. Yeah, I know.
I love Firehouse. I didn't know there was
So excited.
any on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. There is one by us in Huntington, and then there's one in Newport as well. But we scoot over there. It's too good not to eat. And
Yeah.
even when it comes up in conversation, like there's no longer any other options. You have to go to Firehouse. Like
I love Firehouse so much. Everyone who's watching this, wherever you are, find the nearest Firehouse and go get yourself a big old dose of dopamine because
yeah,
that place is so good. And they have like that nice not vending machine, but like the drink machine that has like 10,000 drink options.
like the mix up one where you get to just like, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, elite.
What about you? What are you doing to get your happy chemicals in?
Well, I mean, going off of dopamine, yeah, I think food is one of mine too. Like, there's nothing I love more than like, I really like cooking. I've started to cook more in the pandemic, and like, I've always really loved Asian food. So I've been trying to like learn how to cook more fancy things, but I'm also broke. So I've been cooking a lot of like fancy ramen and like learning different recipes and stuff with that. My favorite right now is this like, it's like a cream of mushroom and beef
Ooh.
ramen that I make, and it is so amazing. There's nothing better than like ending my day with like a big old bowl of that ramen. I love it so much. It brings me so much peace. Just like sets my night up for like the rest of the night. Um, for oxytocin, I think I start my day off by calling my mom because she's a single mom. I'm an only child, so me and her are like super duper close. So I call her every morning and we FaceTime for a hot sec. And it's just nice to start my day off like talking about like nice stuff and talking with somebody I love. Like it's just better than getting on social media immediately. And it makes my mom happy because she's like, "You don't ever call me." And I'm like, "I call you every morning." And now she's getting a shout out on here. So hey mom. Um for serotonin, I definitely think I also like to go outside and get a lot of sun. I don't drive, so I get a lot of sun regardless because I'm walking everywhere, which is really, really nice. And it's hard during the friggin' pandemic. It's really hard to get sun, but taking walks or just finding like some place nearby that you can walk to or studying outside.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
Since Dead Week is coming up, I'm like, all right, I really don't want to be sitting inside all day having to study. So I definitely going to be going outside and studying. Sometimes I just go to my friend's house because she's got a backyard that like faces the sun. Mine doesn't really. So I'm like, hey, can I come over and just like sit in your backyard and do homework? She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I do. And then as far as endorphins, yeah, that's the laugh one. So all my friends are acting friends. So we just we hang out. We'll get on Zoom and have like Zoom parties, or the couple that are in the area will go on like social distance dates and we'll all just hang
Ooh.
out. And they love to do impressions and jokes and stuff. So sometimes I'll just sit and watch the boys have their fun, and that's like enough for me.
So
Like so much fun. Or there's like a game you've probably heard of, like Jackbox. I think it's like we have it on Switch. I don't know if it's on other systems, but it's like a game called Jackbox, and they have like
uh,
Quiplash maybe.
oh yes, I do know what it is. No,
Oh
yeah, that
my
is
gosh. If
fun.
you guys need a quarantine pandemic game to play with friends, it should be Quiplash. It's so much fun. You guys just like put in your own prompts and stuff. You're just like putting inside jokes to make your friends laugh. I love that game so much.
It is so fun.
It is so good. Oh my gosh. And blankets in the dryer are my new favorite thing too. At night when I'm like cold and I'm like, oh, I don't have anyone to cuddle, I just put my blanket in the dryer for 15 minutes
Right.
and the baby. Yeah.
Dude, I wish with all of my heart that I was one of the best chefs in the world, but unfortunately, every time I try to use stove, uh, anything past a microwave basically ends in disaster. So it's something I'm really working on. I'm trying to get better. Like I want to be able to just cook the bomb food, but
So,
unfortunately, for whatever reason, I'm so bad at cooking. I'm so bad.
oh my gosh. It's okay. The other day I was trying to make my ramen because I really needed that
Mm,
dopamine.
mhm.
I had to remember for a second. I was like serotonin or dopamine, but I remember the differences.
There it is.
And I had made my ramen. It was perfect. And then I was like, all right, now I'm going to add a little bit of heavy cream because that's what makes it nice and
Mhm.
creamy. And the cream was rotten.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
so I couldn't eat my ramen. And that was the only thing I had in my house. And that was a sad, sad night.
Oh,
So
that's unfortunate. That hurts. That hurts the heart.
yeah, even good chefs aren't good. That was just a reading issue. That wasn't even a Rose can't read. But yeah, with finals week coming up, I feel like these happy chemical hacks are so important to keep in mind because they don't take very long either, which is the nice thing. Like a lot of these are 10, 20 minutes maybe,
Mhm,
just ways to like make yourself feel better throughout the day. Going to be key.
mhm.
Yeah. So as far as announcements go, don't think we have too many. I think this might be our last Wellness Wednesday for this semester and for us
Yeah.
forever.
Unfortunate. But I mean, there's going to be a new group of peer educators coming in to take our place. So I'm sure all the students of APU will welcome them with open arms. So that's good to know.
And they're going to be great. We're very excited to pass down the baton to these guys. and they're gonna take over, and it'll be in person too. So like, who knows what Wellness Wednesday will look like next semester. But as always, University Counseling Center is there for you 24/7. Our phone number is 626-815-2109. You can call us at our working hours and you'll get Kim, and she can get you in contact with a counselor, or you can call at any time and be contacted with a 24/7 counselor if you've got something you want to talk about. But of course, if you have any emergencies or anything, call 911. And I think that